Today, we're talking about a movie that we're probably gonna not say a lot of good things about. I heard about this film during the In Search of Darkness, a journey into iconic 80s horror documentary that Corey Taylor presented and has his own special edition of. Really good documentary that goes through every year of the 80s and kind of explains how horror started in the 80s and how it progressed all the way to the end. Has Elvira, Kane Hodder, Corey Taylor, James Rolfe. That's my little non-sponsored little plug. A movie that they talk about in it was Chopping Mall.
Chopping Mall.
Even in the documentary, they were kind of like, this movie flopped, but it's very obvious to tell that the people who made it had a lot of fun making it, and that's good.
And that made us interested. That's what made us interested in actually looking this up, is that they literally said, this movie is not good, so we're thinking, okay, cheesy 80s bad. But we had so much fun filming it that we're like, oh my god, well, it'll probably still be fun to watch. We were wrong.
I'm gonna right off the bat say, only watch this movie if you really want to watch like a really cheesy bad 80s horror. So let's shop on in.
Let's get shopping in Chopping Mall.
Let's get This isn't gonna work. So starting off, creature costume. So our creatures, robots. I don't know if it was I think it was an animatronic. They look cool, I guess. It's a cheesy 80s robot design, so there's not much.
I said they were a mix between a Roomba and Alpha from Power Rangers.
Yeah, or like Alpha and Wally. They're like on big tank treads, kinda.
Yeah.
Very clunky. The rest of the costuming was just like
pants. It was like jeans. Just
very everyday's, not even like out there 80s clothes. Like very just popped collars, shirts. That's it.
Yeah, nothing to it.
That's all you get. Story and plot.
They tried to start it off by being comical, but a lot of the jokes didn't land, and was first off kind of the
yeah, a lot of them were very
this kind of movie.
Yeah, they were dated, obvious. I mean, it's an 80s film, but very just like really flat jokes. They didn't land. And then basically the plot is the mall has new security. It's controlled by the central hub computer, and there's these 3 robots that will patrol the mall at night, and the whole mall locks down. These kids, teenagers who need to close down this furniture store they work in are like, we're gonna party in here all night and no one's gonna stop us. So then they get locked in the mall, and obviously the robots think they're intruders, and that's the whole movie.
Yeah, we'll go a little bit more into the robots and what makes them malfunction, more in the villain section.
Yeah, that's the plot.
It's really not. Kids have to fight the robots because robots are attacking them.
Yep.
That's the plot.
There was also a lot of continuity errors with like the plot, because like things that the robots couldn't do, they suddenly could. And things that the like teenagers didn't know about or whatever suddenly were able to do, and just like a lot of things just didn't.
It didn't match.
Characters.
Also not good.
Yeah, they're all stereotypes.
They're just dumb, horny teenagers. Your essential 80s dumb.
But like, even like Friday the 13th, the dumb, horny teenagers have like some type of defining feature, but these were like dumb, horny teenagers, and there's a nerdy one, and there's a nerdy girl, and they like have a romance thing.
But see, they do follow the stereotypical 80s kind of slasher per se plot, where the teenagers who have sex are the ones to die. The nerdy ones are the survivors.
Yeah.
They didn't have sex.
They watched a horror film
They watched a horror film.
And they're sitting there in the same furniture store where all other their friends were having sex.
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
There's not much else with the characters.
There was like a really big Italian stereotype.
Being Italian?
Being Italian.
You weren't feeling it?
All the characters were stereotypes, and that was it. They were even more one-dimensional.
They did make some of the women very like stereotypical annoying.
Yeah, that one, oh my god. I guess they were doing it because they like wanted you to like want her to die, but it was just, it dragged on for so long with her being annoying. I need to get out of here! Ah! Whenever a character was in peril, the other characters would just stand there and watch.
Nobody helped each other, so it didn't make it felt very unrealistic. If my closest friends are being attacked and I can possibly help, I'm not gonna watch all of them die.
Yeah.
But they all do.
Cinematography and tone. The opening film gag I kinda liked. Like the robot apprehends the criminal. It was like a demonstration video for how the robot, and it's like the end. It was like, oh, that's funny, and then it cuts in, oh, here's the movie. So I like that. There was this scene where they were trying to show like the busyness of the mall, and there's like a kid in the elevator eating ice cream, and then like all these people come into the elevator, and then when they leave, the kid's like covered in ice cream, and it was like gross.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I put my favorite part of technically the cinematography was the ending credits. I liked how they set up the ending credits.
Oh yeah, and they did the whole like, oh, this character, here's their face. They did like a montage so you knew which actor was which. That was fun.
I thought that was a fun way to add it in there.
It definitely fit for how the rest of the movie went.
It looks fine. There's nothing crazy to it. It's all shot in the same.
Yeah, I mean, they filmed it in a real mall. The robot animatronics are complex enough that they're not like cheesy. Well, they are cheesy, but they work. It's not like very clunky. There's also a scene where they have like this wide shot, and one of the characters is like dead laying on the ground, and a character walks in looking for them, and she just doesn't see him, and he's like literally on the ground 5 feet in front of her.
Until she trips
to
over
IMDb, he moves his toes in that shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, yeah. Again, they had fun making this movie, and that was it. Music and sound. Oh yeah, the opening title song was like super crazy, and the rest of it was just kind of like stereotypical 80s music, not like super like, ooh, synthy fun. It was just like, 80s movie. Oh yeah, there was this one cut though where the music's playing and then it like hard cuts from like the robot dying.
I remember that.
It's super abrupt, and I don't know what the purpose of it, I don't know.
They could have chopped a little more with that film.
Chopping mall. No chopping. Even the poster for the movie has like a severed arm. There's no chopping. There's electrocution.
Ooh. Another thing with the sound is the laser sounds that the robots make are weird stereotypical laser sounds, and there's multiple different ones.
Well, there's 3 robots. All of their lasers were all different colors for some reason, even though they're all the same robot, and they all made different noises. And the noises sound like they were coming from like the dollar store, like toy guns.
Yeah, and it also didn't make sense that the robots, they made enough noise that you could hear them. Clearly hear them.
Yeah.
But they could sneak up on people.
Yeah, they were like, and then when they needed to sneak up on someone, it was just quiet. So the villains, you have the 3 robots. There's the cliche of like a lightning storm messing up their computer system.
Yeah, which made them sentient. There's not really an explanation. They're just sentient because they talk back and forth.
Yeah, they can like communicate with each other.
And they also hit a body. And it's never brought up again, nor do you ever see this body, and they don't hide any other bodies.
There's a lot of inconsistency with that.
Guns don't kill them.
Yeah, they just, bullets completely ricochet off them, don't even leave dents or anything. So they're super strong. They have their little catchphrase, the thank you, have a nice day.
Thank you, have a nice day.
Every time they kill someone. So that was funny, cute, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was weird. So they set up this whole thing with them that like, they won't go into stores. They will only patrol like the interior of the mall. And they do that at first, and then out of nowhere they just start barging in to kill people.
Yeah, so basically when they first are sentient and out kind of scoping the mall, the kids are already in this furniture store, they're all loud, party, fun, and the robots don't know, just
drive right past it. And then next thing you know, they're lasers ablazing going through.
They somehow see them.
Like they set up these rules for the robot and then just ignore them. Gore! There's the head explosion, that was like the pinnacle of the film. It seemed like their entire film was built up to this one girl's head exploding, which was also confusing because the robots had lasers, and there was one person that they shot multiple times with the laser and it just kind of like burned them. And then this girl, they just shoot. Headshot, head explodes. I guess video game logic. I don't know. The first kill they did is like the guy who's supposed to be watching the robots, like with the computer. They stab through a porno magazine he's looking at, and they just like clamp his neck with their little claws. And they do that a few times in the film. They just like grab people's neck and just go.
There wasn't an extreme amount of gore. The most gore is just the head explosion.
And the
Otherwise,
girl
there's-
set on fire. They set a girl on fire.
Most of the kills are like lasers or a slit neck.
The exploding head was the only fun one, really.
Yeah.
Ooh, they did something cool
And then they
there.
didn't do any other really interesting kills.
Titty! So this movie had a lot.
Yes, this movie did what we've been talking about, the very stereotypical 80s, why you want to go to the cinema is to see the
Some
titties.
titties.
Lots of sex.
Yeah, I made a whole list. So the movie starts and there's like swimsuit models walking through the mall for no reason. The guy who's supposed to be watching the robots has the porno magazine. There's a constant sexual tension with all of the teenagers.
Yep. When they're all in the store, there is technically 4 couples, 3 out of 4 are fucking for a good portion of the beginning of the movie.
There's like a locker room scene too where there's just titties.
Don't forget the comeback titty.
Oh yeah. Mall sexy type, the hurry. Yeah, the guy like has to go get he has to go get cigarettes.
Cigarettes.
He goes to the cigarette vending machine and she's just like, hurry back.
Hurry back.
They do address their terrible relationship in it too, because they're just like, oh, why are they constantly arguing? The characters were so one-dimensional, none of their development mattered.
It's very questionable how many people would probably see this movie if they didn't know that there is a lot of titty. It's one of those movies where I'm sure it was hearsay, hey, there's a lot of sex scenes, let's go see Chopping Mall. Let's dive right into the roundup.
What were your favorite scenes?
Scenes is head explosion. That's the one. That's really
There's like a scene they go to the sporting goods store and they're just like grabbing shotguns and M4s and propane and stuff and they're like gearing up to fight the robots, but even then like wasn't that exciting and it was like really out of nowhere. It's like, oh no, there's killer robots. Let's go to the sporting goods store and blow them up instead of like, I don't know, I feel like people's first thought would be to try to get out of the mall and they kind of have that thought, but not really.
Head explosion is a bit.
Yeah, head explosion's good. The end credits.
What would you change?
I'd remake the movie.
The movie could have done with a lot better everything, basically. I would have loved to actually know more about these characters, not like, oh, this is the couple that fucks their way through everything.
They have like the little development of the characters like on the way to the mall that they're like fixing the car and like the girlfriend like knows how to fix the car and he's like, oh, you're good at that.
But then she wasn't even wielding a gun or anything. Like, they didn't do anything.
Yeah, like anytime you thought they were giving a character something, they don't go anywhere with it.
Characters, better story.
If there's any humor in it still, I would change it all and update it, make it better, make all the characters not so stereotyped. I mean, you can still have dumb teenagers that want to stay over and fuck in a mall, I guess, but like, I don't know, do something more.
Yeah, it needed more.
Make the robots more believable and like consistent with what they can do.
It was very just lackluster, unfortunately. Like, what we expected to at least be some fun in the film, we didn't find fun.
Yeah.
Would be wonderful, I'm sure, so much fun to shoot, like being on set.
Yeah.
But as a viewer, not so much.
And that's why they said it flopped, and it flopped for good reasons.
Yes.
Chopping Mall, would I recommend?
No.
No.
Chopping Mall is on the chopping block.
Ooh! Anything else to say about Chopping Mall?
Nah, don't get chopped by the robot.
Don't get chopped until the next quarantine cut. It might be Cutting Mall. It might robot teen. Good night.